Hello. Oh, yes, this is working. Hi, I'm Melanie Lynskey. I obviously don't have anything to do with this movie. I'm here with Everett Blunck and Joel Edgerton, both of whom I'm huge fans of. I'm here today for two reasons, because I'm obsessed with this movie, and also because Everett and I got to work together in a movie called Griffin in Summer, which he was absolutely, yes, exactly. And I just adore him and would do absolutely anything for him. And I was just so excited to see this film and just see like your incredible range and just how different this is. Like when we were doing Griffin in Summer, I just could not believe the character he was playing was so different from him as a human being. And then to see him play another character, fully formed, incredible, deep character who's also so different from him. And I was just like, just your range is just incredible. And Joel, you're also a producer on the movie. How did this project find you? Why did you want to be involved?
Is that on? No. Do I need to do that? Here we go. That's on. It was this agent friend of mine who's not anyone that represents me, but I have a really good friendship with an agent who has really good instincts for young writers and directors. He called me and he said, I think you're going to really like this script, and I read it immediately, and which was the script for the play, written by the director, Charlie, and I just immediately wanted to get involved, and I realized he'd never made a movie before, but he'd made a couple of short films, which I watched. I then went and read a couple of other screenplays he'd written, and just realized like he was a young filmmaker that just needed to get to the point where he could make his first film and be one of the futures of American filmmaking, you know. So I just thought if I could use any of my minimal to medium-sized powers to help him do that, and that involved just, you know, helping to raise some finance or introduce him to certain people, and just from the fringes did whatever I could, including happily playing a hopeless coach and getting to work with these incredible young guys, you know, and the movie, I'm happy to say, I had an expectation that Charlie would make a really good film, and I just think he even blew my expectations out of the water.
It's incredible. Like my husband and I were watching it together and just talking about the confidence of the filmmaking, and I mean that final moment is so beautiful that it makes me want to cry to even talk about. I don't want to skip all the way to the end because there's so much in the movie and the story and the performance, but just because people have just witnessed that final moment, what was the process like of filming that, and how terrifying was it? Because I'd be so scared.
Is this on?
Press that.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Yeah.
It was really, I think Charlie, the writer-director, had alternate endings for that. So I think we were like, during the shooting, we didn't really know. He was kind of deciding on which one to do, and then he landed on like that. And but it was really cool. It was awesome for me to witness like a kind of a full circle moment for Ben, and like being able to like kind of tap into Kenny, who plays Eli's character, a little bit, and like his confidence to be able to like do that dance and like not care what people think. Like it was just very different, and yeah, I love filming it. It was scary, but I think it was kind of scary in a good way for me, like going outside of my comfort zone and like experiencing kind of a different character in that one scene.
I loved it. I was watching the movie and I was like, do I see any little bits of Everett? And I think that beautiful moment where you offer to put the cream on his back, to me, just because you have the kindest, purest heart of anybody I've ever met. And I was like, that's a real Everett. Like, to me, I could see you sort of like your kind spirit come through in that moment. How did you come to be involved in the movie, and what drew you to it?
I had just a regular audition, first, just like a self-tape, and I knew someone who knew one of the producers, Lizzie. And so we were I was at a different premiere in New York for Griffin. And we were kind of talking about it, and you know, and she was like, oh yeah, I know them, it's gonna be a great project. And so eventually I got called back. And yeah, I did a thing in front of Charlie, I think twice for that, and yeah, and it was really great, and I got to, you know, kind of learn more about Ben and meet Charlie, and yeah, and I think through the person I knew, through Griffin, who was an executive producer for Griffin, Alex. She knew Lizzie, and I think that helped, you know, kind of mutual relationships, and so I'm very thankful for her for that too. Yeah.
Did you have any involvement in the casting? Did you get to see tapes or anything? Because this whole cast is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it really. One of the things I knew going into it, people, I don't know that, I'm sure other actors feel this, I'm sure you feel it too, is like when you get a chance to work with kids, or, you know, I call anyone under the age of 45 now a kid, but proper kids, like young people, you can learn a lot from them, like, especially actors that are, you know, because they have less experience, and I think Everett is one of the most honest and pure kind of presences on screen. And I got to see that in an early tape, and like I said, as a producer, quite often what I do is I hope I know where I'm value added, and I hope I know when I'm an obstacle to a process. I try not to hover over things, but Charlie was willing to share casting tapes with me, and I could tell early on his instincts for who these, which actors he would marry to which role was so good that I saw Everett's tape, and Charlie was like, I really love this kid. I was like, yes, okay, I totally agree with you, and I'm not going to try and intervene because that's a great choice. Similar with Kaio, who's one of the most unexpected bullies that you would see in terms of the archetype of what he looks like. And of course, the character of Eli, just so his instincts for casting. And I think a great director is someone who has good taste. Yeah. And casting will make or break a movie for sure, along with a lot of other big choices you make. But casting is everything in that beginning phase. And I think Charlie has good taste with everything. Yeah. But particularly, I could tell when he was casting, I was like, this movie's going to be even better than I thought.
Yeah, it was one of those things where you could not imagine anyone else playing any of the parts. Like, everybody was just perfect. And yeah, unexpected choices as well in the casting, like you were saying. Like, because you don't really know where to settle when you're watching. You're like, wait, he's a friend, wait, he's a bully. And then, you know, it's just, all the characters are so fully formed.
One of the things I thought was excellent about the film, and you know, I'm really drawn. I think the reason the friend gave me the script, it knows that I'm interested in the theme of bullying and kindness versus cruelty, and those sort of formative age choices of how you can hurt another person. One of the things I think is extraordinary in terms of the way Charlie worked with the young guys, with Everett, with Kaio and everyone, is that there's no doubt there's cruelty there, but the cruelty is not often just for cruelty's sake. Mm-hmm. It's the sport of being a kid and not knowing, or not really being hyper aware that your actions can affect the psyche and the well-being of another person. And yet in comes this character, so beautifully played by Everett, that is like, all right, well, if I go over here and I'm nice, then I have a target on my back. Yeah. But I'm drawn to do that, but I have to be careful. And if I go over here, then I'm not a good person. And I think at the core of this movie, as well as it's wrapped up in a sort of a half-genre experience, is a really good deep rumination on those choices we make about being good versus bad, and how joining the herd can affect, you know, our own sort of point of view on ourselves and affect the well-being of others.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it feels unfortunately so timely to be looking into, you know, people's empathy or lack thereof, and the nature of bullying, and, you know, toxic masculinity and when that begins and how. I loved it's incredible to have all those themes wrapped up in also a genre movie which is genuinely scary. For both of you, is there any, I hate it when I get this question and here I am asking it, but I don't know. I'm genuinely curious. Sorry to all those people who asked me that, and I was like, oh. But was there any moment or scene or anything like that that presented a particular challenge?
I think you should answer this.
Yeah, for me, the two things that come to mind is my scene with you at the restaurant, just like emotionally. I was there for like 8 hours, it was the same scene, so it was just like over and over again, like emotional. So that was like more mental for me, like kind of challenging, and kind of having to find him in that moment and in that place for so long. It's kind of draining. And then also the fight scene with Ko, who plays Jake, was really challenging, like physically, because we were in the water for like 9 hours, like swimming and like punching each other and like fake punching, of course. But it was choreographed too, and they were really good about helping us and keeping us safe and giving us breaks. But it was the whole day. It was like the fight scene, because it's complicated too. It's like there's a lot going on, and the game before that too. So that was really challenging for me, and I think for Ko too, like physically hard, and a lot of swimming, a lot of treading, a lot of like punching,
Yeah, are you a good swimmer? Did you have to do lessons or anything?
We had like water polo lessons for like the first 2 weeks with all of the kids. It wasn't as much swimming lessons, it was like knowing how to play like the basics of water polo.
Yeah.
But I'm an okay swimmer. I'm not like great. I wouldn't consider myself like a good swimmer, but I can do it kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about for you?
Look, I had lots of conversations with Charlie. There was even a point where he's like, "You're going to do this should we make the coach some loser that's come over from Australia?" And we very nearly did it. I think we decided like a couple of days before I started shooting that I should be American. And I think that choice was made by somebody who'd invested in the film.
Yeah.
I was like, why are Australians not worth it? There's got to be a lot of hopeless Australian water polo coaches out there. For sure. But I wanted to make sure, regardless of where, my character was from, that, because one of the great attributes of this movie is how funny it is. How funny these guys are. The stuff they're saying, the rules they make up for themselves, and it's disarmingly funny until it's not. It's making sure that my character could be hapless and a little bit hopeless and a little bit like hasn't really achieved the goals in his life. No offense to any water polo coaches at summer camps. But that he actually genuinely cared, even though he wasn't that helpful. And that we got maybe a glimpse into the fact that his own childhood wasn't so excellent, which is why I could empathise a little bit. So that was key to me, but I thought the restaurant scene was remarkable. I mean, I'm in the business of blowing other people's horns, and there's so many moments in the film that I think Everett is so excellent. One of them, actually, I remember when I first saw the movie, years ago I did a movie where I had to have kind of an anxiety attack, and I'd never had one at that point, and I was like, well, I'll just make this up. I don't want to go and watch that scene of me years ago because I'm sure it's terrible. But when I watched Everett in that room by himself, throwing his arms down and walking and pacing, I actually felt like he was really having an anxiety attack. And there's so many moments in the film where I could just feel the authenticity of what he's doing. And this movie succeeds and reaches into people and scares them and makes them sad and happy and everything because of these performances,
Oh, absolutely. One of my favourite things about Everett as well as an actor, and one of your great gifts, I think, is that you have the ability to show multiple things on your face happening at the same time without really showing anything. And it's just how present you are and how well you listen and how much you just allow yourself to be in the moment and things to pass through you. And there was like a scene in the sauna, I remember, I don't know if you even said a word, but you're just watching and you can just feel everything that you're thinking. And I just was like, oh, he's like, I was trying to come up with it to Jason. I was like, is he like a young Christian Bale? Like, what is it? Who is he? Like, it's just, I think you're just a young Everett Blunck.
Yes.
You're just like yourself, and you're incredible.
You can pay us for all this later, Everett.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
I have a
Getting my
comparison.
name
You
up.
say what you're going to say, and I'll tell you who he reminds me of.
no, to add.
Oh,
No,
sorry. You
I'm going to tell you. When I was sitting opposite Everett in the diner scene, he reminded me, and I hope you take this as the greatest compliment, because I worked with her a couple of times when she was very young, is a young Mia Wasikowska, who is so excellent and like you're describing, has this ability to not kind of telegraph anything that she was ever feeling, and yet you felt it indelibly. And I think Mia's one of the great actresses, and I know that, you know, Mia's a girl and you're a boy, but there was something in the authenticity and availability and listening and purity of trust, and that's who Everett reminded me of in that moment.
That is a great compliment. Thank you, actually. And no, I like to add on to what you said. The cat, like I remember kind of walking in and being a little nervous because it's eight other kids my age. I didn't know if there was going to be like a dynamic on set that was like similar to what the film is about, and the cast really just was so great. For like the boys, first of all, they were incredible. The chemistry was amazing between all of us. We had like this. We were in the same hotel, and being able to act off of one another. I did most of my scenes with Ko and Eli, but everyone was so amazing, and to be able to bounce off of them it really helped, and it really made me feel like more grounded in the scene and more authentic. And then when Joel came in, it was, I think all of the 8 kids can universally agree that it was way easier, because he came in and you know, there's no adults in the film, and so to have someone there who has so much experience and to kind of like look at you and like learn from what you do, even in like small scenes or if we didn't have much dialogue with you, was extremely helpful. So thank you for that, because it really helps.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're such a great actor, and your American accent is impeccable. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm tough on.
But these guys run circles around me. You know that scene where I'm dressing them down up post the erection scene? Charlie was like, yes, I think secretly said to them all, just make him sweat, you know. And they really got under. They really got under my skin. Oh, I was like, this feels like, and what's great is because I think we forget also that teachers can feel bullied by students. Students can feel bullied by teachers. There's not like, bullying doesn't just happen within a peer group of equal age. It happens all over the place. So I think that was a nice note as well, to feel like even the coach can feel, you know,
it was like
trodden on.
sad and funny and it's so terrible. Oh God, and you're just like, oh, I'm happy I'm not a water polo coach. Did you get to go to Cannes with the movie when it went?
No, I was filming something else.
Too busy filming.
I really wish I was able to go to Cannes, but no, I saw a lot of photos and videos of everyone there, and it looks like they had a really fun time. So they FaceTimed me too and like sent me a bunch of stuff. So I felt very included as much as I could be from, you know, being in Canada. But yeah.
Maybe the only thing cooler than walking the red carpet of your own film in Cannes is not walking the red carpet because you're busy working.
Yeah, you too.
It was sad not to have
I did it on
Everett there.
purpose.
But the film did so well.
I'll tell you a couple of things. I mean, it was very cool that the moment the film finished, Charlie XCX letterboxed like a quick review of the film, saying how awesome it was. I'm sure Charlie's got hundreds. Charlie, the director, who should be here, except he's in pre-production for his next film in Hungary, in Budapest, I think. So you get to see another, I'm sure, excellent film by him in a year or so. And I'm sure he's got tons of these stories, but I got an email yesterday out of the blue from Gus Van Sant, who I didn't even know. I mean, he must have asked for my email address, just saying how much of an impression the film had made on him. And knowing that he made Elephant, obviously these themes resonate with him deeply, I'm sure. So the film is really kind of, reaching out to a lot of people, and I think so far Charlie has won the main prize at I think four maybe more festivals.
It's amazing. It's so
Yeah,
well
it's just
deserved.
excellent.
It's so special. It's so good, and I'm just so thrilled for you. This is the career that you deserve because you're an incredible actor.
Thank you so much.
Does anyone have any questions in the audience? I think we have a few minutes. Oh, yes.
What were the alternate endings?
What were the alternate endings?
I remember, I don't know how many he had, but I remember talking, there was one where everyone else was like zombified, like they had the plague, and like I was kind of standing and witnessing, like, whether it was like a hallucination or something. And so that was the one I think he was like talking about maybe doing. And like when I turn around from the dance and everyone's just like has the plague, like how Eli was, but like 10 times more horrific. So I don't know. That's one he told me about, and I thought that would have been cool. But I also really like the ending that he chose to. But yeah, I'm also interested. I don't know how many he had, but I'm sure that he had multiple and that they were also great.
Oh, yes.
Could you comment on the score? Because it was beyond.
Yeah.
Comment on the score because it was beyond. Yes, I agree with you. I'm happy to comment on it. I think that music is so personal. It's funny how, I mean, look, movies, if everybody all loved the same kinds of movies or loved the same kinds of everything, maybe it'd be a bit boring. Some people like their score to be kind of, more subtle, but I love the score. I love how sort of, how big an impression it makes, how it sort of, for me, I'm just talking about my feelings about it. I wish all of the team were here to be able to speak about it and how it kind of creates a sense of doom or dread and foreshadows that sense and really goes for it. And he's a young composer. I don't know, actually, does anyone on the IFC team know? From memory, I don't think he's ever scored a movie before. But I'm sure he'll score many, many, many more to come. But I'm glad that I agree with you. I love it. I love the score.
Oh, yes.
What was a piece of direction that Charlie gave that you're like, oh, that like unlocked something in my performance, or just felt the magic afterwards?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Did everyone hear the question? What was a piece of direction from Charlie that unlocked something?
Some magic.
Some magic.
There's a lot that he said to me. I think one time when I was filming, I think it was one of the pool scenes, like when I'm either walking to the pool after I'm getting bullied, or it was like in a hallway of the like academy or the place. And I'm supposed to be like super freaked out or anxious. It's kind of like where Eli is chasing after me after they pour cockroaches all over me. But I was confused because I didn't really necessarily know how to play it. If he was, because he's screaming at Eli and he's trying to tell them that it was like a joke, that it was that like they're all friends, and I was like, is he confused. Like, does he think that they're friends, or is he just trying to is he trying to manipulate himself, or is he lying? And I think what he said to me was that he was trying to make himself believe that they were friends, and denying that they were mean to him. And I think that really helped me throughout the rest of the film, knowing that it's not just he was just brushing stuff off, that you know what, I'm being bullied, I don't really care. He really thought that this was how you became friends with someone, it was kind of like a self-denial thing, and taking that for the rest of the shooting, and it really helped me kind of understand Ben and how Charlie envisioned him and how he wrote him. That was a really useful piece of information for me.
I love that. Oh, yes.
What are your own personal takes on the plague? What is it? What does it mean? Including yours.
What are your own personal takes on the plague? What is it? Is it real or is it something else?
I think, I think that's a great question, because one of the really great things, in my opinion, is that it's not a definitive answer. It's very up to interpretation, whether you think it's real or you think it's fake. I think that I think that it's probably fake and it's all in his mind, and maybe some of the stuff is a little more exaggerated, because you kind of see the story through Ben's eyes, so it's not necessarily all going to be completely factual and how it is in real life. Some of the stuff, when he's dreaming, or he's making it a little more severe or mild. So yeah, I think it's probably fake, and a lot of it is very psychological in his head, and now that he knows about the plague, he's noticing patterns, or he's noticing things, or he's kind of subconsciously making a bigger deal out of it, maybe. But yeah, I think it's probably mostly in his mind.
I love, one of the things I love about this film is how, children have their own governing laws. There's no way that a character like mine could come in with their adult understanding of the world and change the way children are going to police each other and treat each other. And they have their own social fabric. This is terrifying now that I have kids. One of the key scenes in the film for me is when Eli and what's the character that comes and brings you when you're in the room and you're both talking about how the plague is not real.
Oh, Tic Tac?
Yeah, Tic Tac brings
Xavier, yeah.
gives you the and he hands something to you. And you're both talking about how it's not real, and then you leave the room, and we're left with him, and he washes his hands.
Right.
Is the power of the belief of these rule systems is the toxicity and infectiousness of belief and these treatments. But so I love that Charlie took this idea of how we infect each other with our behaviour and made it something, psychological but real as well.
I mean, I thought it was real. But I thought there's such a kind of beautiful message in there of you're not always going to be rewarded for doing the right thing. Sometimes it can even harm you, but it's still the right thing to do. And I don't know, it was really, the whole thing was just so beautiful, I thought. It was very profound.
But don't shake Everett's hand. We've got some moisturiser already.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing real quick. I just want to thank Melanie for being here. I've known her for 2 years now, and she's just the most supportive and kind and helpful person, and I just want to say thank you for all you've done and for being here and for helping me throughout the last couple of years.
Well, you don't need any help, but I love you.